Over the next 2 years at Ormiston's Six Villages Academy, Lily will spend 32 hours of her timetable in core subjects. That means completing the mandatory requirements of English, maths, science, physical education, PSSHE, and religious studies. The remaining 18 hours are her option subjects, dictating her specific academic path. To narrow this down, she must pick at least one EBAC subject, traditional courses like history or geography. The rest come from the open bucket, including vocational courses and the arts. The curriculum is divided into 3 distinct blocks. Lily has to select one subject from each block, ensuring they fit together without timetable clashes. For the first time in her schooling, the majority of her day isn't decided by a generic national curriculum. By selecting these 18 hours, she moves from following a set path to constructing her own schedule. For her mandatory Block C choice, she selects history. This is an exercise in critical thinking. It trains students to weigh conflicting evidence, sift through arguments, and develop informed historical judgment. This photograph shows a World War I field hospital, which is a key case study in her first major curriculum era, medicine in Britain. She will track the continuity and changes in public health, surgery, and treatments over 750 years, from 1250 right up to the present day. Next, she studies the first half of Queen Elizabeth I's reign. The coursework focuses heavily on Elizabethan society, analyzing the political plots against the throne, global exploration, and the constant threat of foreign wars. The final era examines Germany between 1918 and 1939. She will evaluate exactly how a nation recovered from the devastation of the First World War to build a flourishing democracy, only to fall into radical nationalism under Adolf Hitler. By tearing down the myths and analyzing the raw primary sources of these 3 eras, Lily builds the analytical framework required to separate historical truth from fiction. For Block B, Lily moves away from the library to a high-stakes, high-pressure environment, hospitality and catering. Studying the WJEC Vocational Award connects her directly to Britain's 4th largest industry, a sector that accounts for 10% of the entire UK workforce. The primary hurdle is the Non-Examination Assessment, or NEA. An NEA is a coursework project completed under controlled, supervised conditions. Lily is allotted exactly 9 hours to plan, prepare, cook, and present 2 complete nutritional dishes that meet specific client needs. That practical sprint is backed by a rigorous 90-minute written examination, testing her knowledge of food safety, industry legislation, and the operational responsibilities of different sector providers. Completing these requirements demonstrates she can maintain hygiene standards and technical accuracy while working at the pace of a professional kitchen. In Block A, she selects media studies. Here, the focus shifts away from physical execution and directly into digital influence and narrative control. The curriculum requires her to dissect the structures of modern communication. She will analyze television, radio, marketing campaigns, video games, and the mechanics of fake news. To do this, she has to master 4 key concepts: identifying the codes of media language, analyzing how different groups are represented, understanding how media industries operate, and studying how audiences consume information. This animated pie chart breaks down her assessment structure. 70% of her final grade relies on 2 written exams, each lasting an hour and 30 minutes. The remaining 30% is secured through an NEA, where she produces her own practical media project. By breaking down the exact formulas used to build newspapers, podcasts, and social media, Lily stops being a passive consumer, becoming a creator who understands how to shape a narrative. But what happens if a timetable conflict shifts the schedule and her primary blocks clash? She needs backups. If Block A falls through, she pivots to sociology. This course questions taken-for-granted assumptions about human behavior, digging into who actually holds power in society, how families function, and what drives crime. If Block B shifts, her backup is philosophy, religion, and ethics. Here the focus is entirely on intense debate, researching arguments around evolution, climate change, animal rights, and the underlying philosophies of war and peace. And if Block C is compromised, she rotates to drama. This replaces historical analysis with the practical skills of devising original performances, reviewing professional theater, and commanding a live audience. Locking in these strong alternatives creates a safety net. Even if the schedule shifts, her final curriculum will remain academically rigorous. Assuming the primary timeline holds, we return to her optimized 3-subject loadout. History supplies the deep lore. It builds her capacity to evaluate evidence and construct airtight, logical arguments. Catering provides the physical action. It trains her to manage multiple variables, work under intense pressure, and deliver a tangible product on a deadline. Media studies adds the technological fluency. It teaches her how to package her ideas, understand her audience, and broadcast her message effectively. These 3 subjects, history, catering, and media studies, cover the analytical, practical, and digital. In 2026, she starts year 10 with a timetable built to her own specifications.